Round one, fight!
Whew. Really, give me a minute. Hey guys, welcome to Film Learnin, the show dedicated to learning you some filmmaking. Learning a course. Sorry guys, I'm feeling a bit flat today. As you can see, I'm low on energy. That noise is annoying. Hang on a second. Ah, that's better. I feel like a new man. So in case you haven't guessed, or you're not joined up to the Film Learnin Facebook page, we're doing life bars, or energy bars, or whatever you want to call it. We're doing it. Oh, and be sure to stick around to the end of the episode, because I have a surprise for you all. There's a lot of variations on the life bar, so we're going to focus on one in particular, the Street Fighter 2 energy bar. So let's do it, eh?
Let's do it!
First thing you'll need is to hit the link in the description and get yourself some of those sweet fighting backgrounds, care of Redditor, Rude Booty. Booty. They're awesome, and he did a great job on them. That's it. The rest is all us and good old After Effects and a bit of imagination. Well, here we are in good old After Effects. I've already set up a full HD comp set around 10 seconds. I've already imported a few of our Street Fighter backgrounds, so let's drop one right in. This gym one I'll do. Next, scale that bad boy up. Okay, one problem. This GIF only goes for 1 second. Easy solution though. Let's duplicate it and stagger those clips until you reach that 10-second mark. See? I told you it was easy. Just to keep the timeline tidy, let's pre-comp it and then turn it off, and then it's on to the next step. I have an example still of Street Fighter, and guess what? We're just going to copy it. Drag and drop it right on in and then lock it. From there, let's build the frames of our energy bar. Head up, grab the rectangle tool and turn that fill off. We'll then set the stroke color. Or we could just grab a sample straight from the bar. Yeah, let's do that. Once done, let's zoom in and draw our first bar, making sure that it overlaps the KO part. Okay, looks good. Now, head up to add and click rounded corners, and bam, we have those sweet rounded edges on our bar. I'm not really happy with the stroke color, so let's fix it to a lighter grey and beef it up a little. Much better, but I've noticed that the original bar has a gradient, so let's make one too. Select the shape layer, head up and click stroke. Select linear gradient and hit OK. Next, click the stroke color and let's change those settings to a couple of different shades of grey. When you're happy, click OK and then have a play with the very touchy gradient rotator. This can take a little finesse to get right, but stick with it, gang. From there, head over to presets and type bevel alpha. Drag that onto that layer and then we'll change the thickness to a little over 2, maybe 2.5, and then change the angle until it looks sweet. Now, we're getting there. One more step here. Head up to Effect, Perspective, and add a drop shadow. We'll bring that opacity up to 60% and change the distance to around 2. Once you're done, duplicate that frame, hit P, and drag it over to make our second energy bar. Alright, now those frames are done, let's build the KO portion. We'll zoom in and let's turn off those other two layers. We'll then grab the rectangle tool and draw the frame. When you're done, add those rounded corners. We'll then adjust this one slightly just to keep a bit of that square edge. From there, we'll copy our bevel alpha and shadow effects from the other bars and paste them on in. We're also going to add a fill to this one so we can hide the ends of our energy bars. A nice dark grey should work just fine. I'll also name our energy bar frames left and right, so you know, my dumbass doesn't get confused later. Now, let's add some dark fills to our energy bars. Grab the rectangle tool, make sure you remove the stroke before you start drawing. And draw it out so it just fits in those frames, you know, just right. Drop it below our frame layer and then we'll hit T to bring up opacity and drop it down to say 60%. Next, duplicate that layer, position it below the right side and then send it on over. Now, for a nice cheat, duplicate that shape layer we just made, hit T to bring up opacity and bring it up to 100%. Head up, hit fill and change it to a linear gradient. Make it whatever colour you want. I'm going for a yellowy orange, like the game. Play around with that pain in the ass gradient rotator. Next, duplicate that layer, position it below the right side and send it over to the other side. To finish up the energy bar, let's add that KO. Grab the text tool and set the font to Arial. Type out KO, making sure it's bold. We'll then grab our text and make it fit into that little box. Next, head to Effect, Stylize and add a glow. We'll change the glow based on settings to alpha channel and both color A and B to a red. Bump the radius up to 8 and the threshold to 45.5. We might add a stroke too, just to thicken it up a bit. I then darkened the red stroke and the glow colors to look a bit more like the game, but that's up to you if you want to do that. From there, let's add our fighter names. Set our font to Bada Boom, it's in the project file, the fill to blue, and the stroke to black. Type out your first name. You may have to adjust the stroke and the horizontal spacing settings on your text as you scale it down. Head to Perspective and add a drop shadow. This time up in the opacity to 86%, setting the distance to 2 and the angle to around 123. Rinse and repeat our duplication procedure for the second name and type it in. Okay, let's build the frames for our character faceplates, starting with the silver frames and then drawing a slightly opaque fill. Duplicate it and move it over once more. Alright, time to put some faces in those things. I'm using some of the character select pictures from last week because I'm kinda lazy that way. Drag and drop your character under your frame layer and then scale them down and position them so you can fit their face in the frame. Head up, grab the rectangle tool and draw a mask just inside the frame. Rinse and repeat for the second one and bam, you're done. We're now up to the point of adding animation controls to your energy bars. To make things easier, locate your bars and let's change the color on both of them to make them easier to find. Yellow looks right. From there, head over to presets and type linear wipe. We'll then drag and drop that on our layer. And that's it. It's now fully animatable using that slider in the stopwatch. Next, drop the effect onto our other bar. But wait, it's going the wrong way. Let's fix that. Head over here and change the wipe angle to -90. Alright, we now have 2 fully animatable energy bars. Pretty easy, eh? So, we have our energy bars made, but we gotta throw a timer in there, right?
Damn right!
That's what I said. Time to build our timer. Let's open a new comp and give it a time of 30 seconds, 90 seconds, whatever you want it to be, kids. Let's name it clock. From there, head up and add a new solid. Stay up there, head to Effect, Text, and then add a numbers, and set the font to Arial, making sure it's bold. Change the decimal point to 0 and enter a value of 30. Hit the stopwatch, head to the end of your comp and change it to 0. We now have a 30-second timer. From there, let's turn the size up to 90, the display options to fill over stroke, and change our stroke color to a black and beef it up to about 5.6. We'll then change our fill color to a yellowy orange color. In the original, the timer has a gradient fill, but Numbers is incapable of gradients. So here's our cheat. Head up and grab a new adjustment layer. We'll then head to Effect, Color Correction, and add a hue and saturation, tweaking it to a pinky color. Highlight the adjustment layer, head up, grab the rectangle tool, and draw a mask over the bottom half of our text, and then feather the crap out of it. Trap avoided, guys. No limits here on Film Learnin. From there, we'll drop our clock comp into our energy bar comp, get it into position, head up and add one more drop shadow. We'll then tweak the opacity to 62%, the distance to 3, the softness to 6, and an angle of around 135. Damn, that took some time. Let's turn on that background layer and check out our work. As a comparison, this looks pretty damn good in my opinion. Last thing I did is add my fighters that I made up in alpha channel. You'll have to wait till next week for those though. Oh man, I'm such a tease. Add up all those steps and you get something like this.
Round 1, fight!
Give me a minute. So that's making up a Street Fighter style energy bar. It's pretty goddamn easy, eh? And you're not just limited to Street Fighter energy bars. No. which segues into that surprise I mentioned. In the description, I've made project files for several Mortal Kombat energy bars, Street Fighter 3, 4, and of course the NES Ninja Turtles life bar from the opening, complete with that goddamn annoying sound effect. So download them, have a play, and enjoy. If you're new here, give that subscribe button a friendship. Hit me up on Twitter, right there. Join us on our Facebook page, as next week I'll show you how to turn yourself into a video game sprite. And as always, my peeps, keep learning.